Welcome to another dog walk. As you can probably see, do not adjust, do not adjust your television sets or whatever it is. Do not adjust your radio. Uh, there a little bit of snow fell overnight during that storm that was starting or brewing when I filmed the last video. As you can see, we got definitely over a foot of snow. Probably actually much more than that. Overnight, I had to drive my parents over to the airport at 4 a.m. in the middle of the storm. That was quite interesting. In fact, to get onto the street, I had to go through a snowbank that is about as high as what you see, no, higher than that, than Mistra's height. But anyway, just to get onto the street, because the snowplow had just passed in front of me, and the rest was all virgin snow. But anyway, that's beside the point. It is cold, and it's late. And I'm really tired because I drove my parents to the airport at 4 a.m. And then I had to shovel all of this snow in my own driveway today. So I'm quite beat. I didn't really get a chance to think about any grand topics to discuss, any big earth-shattering subjects like the last few ones, so I think I'll just keep it light today, and I'll start with an anecdote about myself. One thing that I'm hoping that my son inherits from me and not from my spouse is my pain tolerance. I am very lucky. I think it runs in the family because, for example, I know my uncle walked around with literally with a broken finger for 2 years before it got fixed. It was annoying him, you know. I have several examples of my pain tolerance. Stuff like walking around with a actually 2 dry sockets after having my wisdom teeth taken out for over a week before finally going in to get it checked on no painkillers or nothing. When normally, apparently people are in the back at the dentist within a few hours when they have dry sockets because they can't tolerate it. Or many other examples, but the one I wanted to talk about was when I was shoveling as a young kid. I remember this very clearly. Long story short, as we were just finishing the shoveling the entire driveway, I slipped and I fell face first onto the ground. And it stung, but whatever. I got up. I felt, I say whatever, it stung, it hurt, right? But whatever, not the first time I hurt myself. I walked back inside. At this point, I'm probably, I would say around 8 years old, maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe, I don't think less, but yeah, probably between 8 and 10 years old. And I walk back into the house, take off my coat, tell my mom, who is a nurse, by the way, that I hurt myself. She comes to the front, and I see her face change. So I instinctively look in the mirror, only to realize that there is blood pouring down my chin because I actually sliced right through the front part. I don't know how to say it, like in front of where my bottom teeth are, with my 2 front teeth from the top. Sliced through it, all the way clean through. Ended up needing, I think it was 4 sutures, something like that. And yeah, when I saw the blood, that's when I suddenly, oh wait, now I should be feeling more pain than this, and started to cry and that. But yeah, so anyway, that was my pain tolerance shoveling related story. What I would like to let, I just realized I forgot to wear my snow pants. I would like to let Misa run loose because she absolutely loves running loose in the fresh powder. But I can't follow her. Misa? Misa? Go, Misa. Hey, this way. Go. Come on. Go up. Go. No, Misa. Misa. Did she just fail at jumping over the... Misa, come back. Hey. Go this way. Come on. Up. No, Misa. Hey. I think it's a bit too high. And now Daisy is pulling like crazy because she's like, hey, why is the other one free and I'm not? Anyway. So, yeah. Keeping it light, I thought today I would talk about some of my tips and tricks for shoveling your driveway. Because I noticed my neighbors haven't been in Canada that long. They are from Africa, and I can, some things, you take for granted, they don't seem to know, and just like I'm sure, like that's normal, right? So anyway, few tips and tricks. So what I like to do, first of all, is you want to create a plan that works for your driveway layout and that you optimize over a few iterations. So don't necessarily just shovel your driveway once and forever shovel it that way. Be open to trying different ways of throwing the snow. What I personally like to do is, after clearing the door, I make my way to the center line of the driveway, and then I push, because I have a push shovel. I push all the way down to the street. Hey, Mistra, wait. Mistra, wait. Mistra, come here. Wait. Stay. Hey. So push all the way to the street, and then in the middle, and then you start while you're still fresh with the end of the driveway, because if the snowplow went through, that's where it's going to need the most effort, right? So start there while it's fresh, because if you get there at the end of your shoveling experience, you may get discouraged. Mistra, wait, you're a bit too far. So after you've done, so you do that, you start at the edge, and then you work your way back towards the house, which is also good psychologically, right? Because you're getting closer and closer to back home as you shovel. So, Mistra, sit. Mistra, sit. Wait. Good girl. Wait for daddy. Hey, Mistra, wait. Sit. I need to clip you again. Mistra. Hey, Mistra, sit. Mistra, wait. Sorry, I need to clip Mistra. So that was a... Hey, Mistra! Here, wait. Mistra! Sorry, sorry, Daddy is being clumsy because he only has one hand, and he keep trying to go forward. Oh, okay, there you go. Mister, wait, hey, JC, girls, whew, I dropped the glove. Oh, I'm sure this is, this might actually be the only entertaining part of my videos. But anyway, trying to manage the crazy dogs. Mister, enough. She's pulling like crazy. Ooh. Okay, so that's the first thing. Work your way back home. Then what you're doing is, because you kind of shoveled to the center line of your driveway, then you can work your way back kind of gently on each side. So I will simulate, let's say where the dogs are walking is currently is the center of my driveway. Well, then you'll kind of, push this way, and then, girls, you clearly see something. Mista is hunting, and Daisy also saw something, obviously. Okay, so as I'm working my way back, I go left, then I push all the way back right to the other end, a bit forward, left, then and always from the center, right? So you clear, a shovel width at a time on each side, which means you stay balanced. Because you did the center line first, you kind of have a starting point for each side, so you're not stepping. Oh yeah, that's a big side tip, I guess. You want to create a path when you optimize it that avoids you having to step on fresh snow that you haven't shoveled, because whenever you step on snow or drive on snow, so you also want to avoid driving in and out of the driveway before shoveling everything, if at all possible, unless you're in a hurry. At least, if you need to head out, try to at least clear out behind your car, just the width of the car, just behind it, before you go, and then finish the rest when you get back. Just that will make a difference, because it's much more difficult to shovel snow that's been stepped on or compacted compared to fresh snow. So that's why I go down the middle first, and then I walk my way back. That way I never have to step on fresh snow, and like I said, the center kind of gives you that anchor point to start each one of your pushes on either side without having to step on snow. So that's kind of my technique. I've already touched on another important point, which is, again, try to avoid compacting the snow. Then what else is there? I had a bunch of tips in mind before I left home. But it's funny how, again, what seems like intuitive to you because you've done it your entire life, it's only when someone doesn't do it that you realize, hey, I should tell them about this, right? Snowbanks, or at the beginning of the season, let's say, it's very important, and it's worth it to, for as long as possible, scrape all the way down to the asphalt, and all the way to the edge of your driveway, if possible, maybe even a little bit over the grass, but definitely to the edge of your driveway. And you don't want to stop short. Reasons for that is, first of all, If it's the beginning of the season, that means that it might get warm enough if you get it down to the asphalt, or the sunshine the next day might melt whatever is left, which gives you a clean and fresh driveway, which is so much better, so much easier to shovel the next time. The other thing is you want to go to the edge because naturally, if you have a lot of snow, as winter goes on, there will be some creep from the snowbank onto your driveway, slowly and slowly. As you know, the snow piles up higher and higher. You'll naturally start to close in. So you want to avoid the onset of that as much as possible, especially if you live in a place where you share a driveway with your neighbor, like I currently do, because when both neighbors start to creep in towards the middle, it's very easy to suddenly have to eventually have issues where you can't even fit both cars side by side and this and that. So try to avoid that as much as possible. In order to do that, the other thing that you need to do, and this is a tip for the entire season, I think, is do not pile everything up right on the edge right away. Right? Don't act as if like this, like you're a snowplow. Try to make the extra effort to, throw the snow. My God, how do they have so little snow? Probably because it's so windy here. But that is amazing. That's so little snow compared to the rest of it. Even just the other side of the street. But anyway, so try not to pile up the snowbank super high right on the side. Kind of like this. Now, this isn't a super bad example, but I think I'm trying to, you get what I'm trying to say. If you kind of do like this, where see they have it kind of spread out a bit further, a few meters, which makes it kind of a hill, as opposed to these next guys here, which is really a wall, right? The reason why you want to do that is that it takes a lot more effort to lift snow, above a 2-meter hill wall than it does above a 1-meter hill, or a 6-foot wall, or a 3-foot hill, right? And over the entire winter, with hundreds and hundreds of shovelfuls of snow, you will notice that difference. Plus, eventually, you can't pile it up any higher. So what do you do then, right? So it's worth the effort to, unless you have kids who want to, build a fort like these guys maybe, it's worth the effort to push the snow a bit further, like this, let's say. Well, yeah, anyway, trying to find good examples. That there's just some that, like these guys, like it looks like they don't have any snow, so clearly they did a good job, and they shoveled very early, which is why that was snow. Anyway, but yeah, so you want to throw it a bit further, because future you will definitely thank you that it will take so much less energy to shovel for the rest of the winter. It's even worth it if you have to have, a big pile like that, let's say right near the edge of your door or whatever, because that's where, all the snow from the back end of your driveway, you have to put it somewhere, and that's the easiest place to push it. Well, take the time every so often to just get on top of that hill or just from the side and push it over, push the top over. Make it less high by pushing the top of the hill further down, further back, to help yourself. Trust me, it'll make a huge amount of difference in the quantity of effort that you have to put throughout the year. Those are really the essential basic tips, I think. Actually, no, there's a few others. Let's say timing. So, in general, the sooner you shovel, the better. Oh, I think Daisy might need a carry here. Daisy. Daisy, wait. No, stay there. Let me pick you up. Because this is too deep for you. Isa, here. This way. Whee! Okay, yeah, so timing. You want to try to shovel early, because if you can get all the way down to the end of your driveway and a lot of the driveway itself done before the snowplow comes, that'll be really great. That'll be super helpful, because having the snowplow plus, looks like Misa found a path. It's super deep there. Almost no snow here. That's the wind, which is another factor you need to take into consideration when you decide when, where, and how to shovel and what route you want to take, right? If you're constantly blowing or throwing the snow where the wind is blowing it back into your face, that might not be the best plan. Woo! Sorry, it's a bit deep. And with Daisy in the hand and the phone in the other, Mr. Here, and Mr. pulling, and me being exhausted. Mr. Please, come here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so ideally you want to do it early. Try to at least get to the end of your driveway before the snowplow does. You also want to take into factor, Daisy wants to go home. See? You saw this way? Daisy wants to go home. Daisy's cold. Good thing I carried her. She would have drowned in that. Yeah. Try to do it early. Look at the weather. If it's still powdery snow, do it as fast as you can. Because you might want to, like today, the powder in the mid-afternoon turned into super heavy wet snow, which for some reason, it's the same amount of snow, but it's so much harder to push and to lift, and because it's so much denser and wetter. So try to get rid of the powder fast. If there's a risk that there's rain or freezing rain coming soon after the snow, you might want to hold off, because sometimes the snow can act as a kind of a protecting insulation layer over your car and over your driveway to prevent everything from turning to ice, because then you can just scoop the crust off, let's say, and the snow underneath is still fine and kind of virgin, hopefully, if it actually froze, as opposed to just being wet and turning everything wet. So that's probably the only situation where you want to wait. Other than that, I think that's a good amount of basic tips. There's a few others, but Daisy is too cold. We have to go home. Have a good evening. Oh yeah, and I keep forgetting to say, but obviously, please comment or whatever. Feedback would be greatly appreciated. There's you got subscribe, notification, all that stuff. I'm not really jockeying for followers. I just want to get this out, but I appreciate any interactions. On that note, have a good night.